Welcome back to Along This Spiritual Journey. So, the argument that most people are talking about online when it comes to what a grown man is or what a grown woman is parental energy. We all grow into parental energy if we follow the path correctly. Parental energy is not about trying to control anyone. It's not about trying to hurt anyone or tell them what to do or over. Parental energy is simply making sure that you understand how to have oversight, which is saying, I understand that this thing is happening, but the thing is over here is happening, and now I got to delegate my energy to make sure that they both happen the right way. That's parental energy to me. Not mom and dad, not the body parts, none of that. Just simple parental energy is understanding I have to delegate my energy across many platforms at once, and I have to execute them correctly. Now, children energy is I still need to be taught. I didn't know. I don't have that vision to see everything coming because I don't have the experience yet. I don't have the comprehension yet, right? Doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter where you lived or how much money you make. There children energy is I need to be taught because I'm learning. Baby energy is I don't know. It's as simple as that. I don't know. And each and every single species on this earth goes through this process of baby, child, adult, and then we age out, right? So understanding that people who choose to have kids delegate their parental energy that way. People who choose to not have kids and love on their nieces and nephews and everyone around them, and they take care of their friends and make sure they get home safely and all that. That's how they choose to use their parental energy. And then there's others where they have their fur babies and they're like, this is all I need and I want to put all that love into them. And that's how they use their parental energy. There's many different ways to use it, but the whole parental energy is saying that I am capable and able of taking care of myself and other things and still be okay in my environment. It's a video game, people. I keep telling you, every level you get to lets you see the bigger picture and you get to a stronger character. And then you have more artillery and understanding of the world around you because it is a level of the universe where you're like, hey, I'm an extension of you. I can help give life and take care of other life to give them a sustainable life and give back to society. That's what parental energy wants to genuinely do. There is distorted parental energy where it's about control and manipulation and trying to get them to be what you want because you want to mold them into something you think they need to be, which unfortunately that's a majority of the energy right now, but there is a good majority of people who allow their parental energy to be used for the good of others. This is the balance that we come back to all the time. And so when we're talking about people, especially in dating, where they're talking about they want a grown man versus a little boy or a grown woman versus a little girl, it's talking about that energy where you might have a grown person body, but emotionally, what age are you? Mentally, what age are you? Because when someone gets triggered, that's who's arguing your mental age and your emotional age. And now you're trying to figure out which one's right because they both feel right in that moment. It feels right to cuss somebody out, but was it necessary? Because now the person you cussed out actually has control over your livelihood, right? It's that's why logic and emotions get mixed up all the time. So understanding your parental energy helps you delegate that energy within you, that inner child that wants to act out. But again, that parent energy can also overly parent that inner child and never let them see the light of day or speak up. And this is again where people get depression and anxiety and other things because it's been locked away by someone else's manipulation, right? And so they don't believe that they have the power to understand that they get to decide how to parent themselves and parent the energy around them because it is their human experience. It no longer belongs to someone who, yes, parents can physically bring children into the world, and this is parenthood. This is another part of an extension of the umbrella, but parental energy can be over anything. It's like a principal in a school. They're not those kids' parents, but they have parental energy over them, right? This is what I mean by that. Now they're on the sub level, people can have kids and those kids can then be their everything, but they're going to grow into adults and go off and do their own thing. And hopefully you gave them the correct energy and the correct thoughts so that when they go out into the world and process it, they understand that the feedback they're getting is correct for their path and not for your path. So this is why it's important to understand that parental energy is part of all of our journey. We're all meant to grow into this level of, I see when I was a baby, I see when I was a young child, I see when I was naive, I see when I thought I knew and I did know, but I overly put up boundaries and I missed that opportunity. And then you get wisdom and you grow into your parental energy. And you're like, wow, now I get it. I can be both A and B from a tertiary perspective, depending on which day or which time needs it. I can interchangeably go between masculine and feminine energy. I can go between my action or passive energy. That's what it's all about, because you literally have these two halves of your brains that have this thought process that they want to do on their own. They've already proven scientifically they can separate the brains and they will think independently on their own and have their own personalities and opinions. So what we as the human, we're the tertiary point that brings it all together. We're the processing machine, right? We're the hardware that then takes all this information that's going logically and emotionally in and out of us, that we then go back in and say, how do I want to parent this energy? And when you can get to a space and say, I like my masculine energy this way, and I like my feminine energy this way. I like my mother father energy this way. I like my mother father energy this way, because on both sides of the masculine and feminine, you have mother and father. You can be mother and father, be a father and a mother who's very feminine. You can have a father and a mother who's very masculine. Has nothing to do with sexuality or anything. At this point, it's just energy. The sexuality is the basis of it all. That's just inception. That's just where people insert things. But who you are energetically is going to determine who you become parentally. And how you were raised and how you were handled as a child is how you're going to then energetically handle others and other children around you that way. And you're also going to handle yourself that way. But your mind is always going to be thinking one thing and your heart's going to be thinking another. And that's why it's your job to remember who you are. This is what people say, don't forget who you are, because we all have a path to get to the end of every part of the cycle. Everything in life, in this human life, is a cycle. It all represents something. It has a beginning and an ending. Everything has a beginning and an ending, regardless of how long it's been here. It ends some way, somehow, and replenishes itself, okay? Growing on top is great, but eventually things start over, as always. So knowing that you are a part of this creation that the universe gives to constantly allows you to then regenerate and reparent that life that you want to see for yourself and others. So don't just think about, I'm an adult, I pay bills, I do this, that means I'm grown, or I do grown activities, I can drink, I can smoke, I can have sex. That don't make you grown. Being grown is being able to assess the situation to its full extent without being biased to your own emotions or your own thoughts, or being biased to your own thoughts and emotions to a certain extent, but not being so biased that you don't listen and then you just don't choose or you just don't act. Because it's important to understand that it's a constant exchange of energy on every level in this exchange of learning and giving back. So parental energy is always going to be about your journey of, do you feel you've done all the emotional work to be the adult that can now handle other people's lives in a way that will let them flourish and not hinder. I hope that makes sense. Love ya.